Traversing into the world of Hokage, but unable to extract chakras, the next day prepared to become a salted fish, the Uchiha extermination incident occurred. The world of Hokage is too dangerous. If we can't practice ninjutsu, let's practice Turtle Immortal Flow. Chapter 1. The Little Ghost Unable to Extract Chakra. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. My XX year, what evening is it now? How many times has it been? I can't remember how many times. Shangguanhuayu looked up at the sky at a 45-degree angle, tears streaming down his face, forming a wavy shape of spicy beef noodles flowing down. His chakra extraction failed again. Shangguanhuayu, oh no, now his name is Saitaka Tenazawa. In his previous life, he was sneaking a peek at Hokage comics during his break on Blue Star, and while he was mesmerized, he heard the fierce roar of the devil's old class in his ear, almost scared to pee. The spirit was lost, but in the blink of an eye, it was discovered that it had been transported to the world of Hokage, becoming a child. Ever since he found out that he had traveled to the world of Naruto, Kiyotaka Tenazawa has been extremely anxious. This is a world of ninjas that is constantly plagued by war. Especially since he has not yet been reincarnated into the big family of Kiba, he is just a commoner child. You should know how humble a commoner family is in the world of Hokage. They are like cannon fodder in war, and the parents of Kiyotaka Tenazawa were sacrificed in the war. Fortunately, before he was reincarnated into the unlucky Uchiha clan, he could at least live an ordinary life in a commoner family. If he hadn't died before being reincarnated into the Uchiha clan, it was destined to be cold. Hey! Little devil, has chakra refining failed again? The fields and trees passing by after drinking asked, still spitting alcohol fumes in their mouths. Harano Kazuki was a comrade in arms of Tenazawa Kiyotaka's parents. He injured one eye and broke one hand and one leg during the Third Ninja War before retiring from ninja and opening a small convenience store in Kiba village. After the sacrifice of his parents, he also took good care of him and taught him the chakra extraction technique. Qinglong obtained the chakra extraction technique and refined chakras every day and night. Unfortunately, so far he has not extracted a trace of chakra. Children of the same age have already attended ninja school, but he was refused admission due to his inability to extract chakras, and is also known as the #1 waste in the history of Konoha. Tenazawa Saitaka clenched his fists and gritted his teeth, his expression resolute. Uncle Hashu, I will definitely succeed in extracting chakra. He nodded with the tree, very certain of Qinglong's attitude. As a ninja, it's about enduring what ordinary people can't tolerate. Qinglong, I believe you can succeed. Qinglong Chauha nodded and entered the state of chakra extraction again. As the sun sets, the ninja school has also closed, and groups of children either go home with their parents or follow their classmates in groups of 3 or 2. Only on the swing, a lonely little figure couldn't bear to leave, and next to it came sounds of abuse from children or adults. He envied those children with family, envied their warm homes, but at the same time, he was fiercely stabbed by those extremely hateful insults, like a cold knife. Finally, he was the only one left at the campus gate. Alone Qinglong woke up from refining chakra, and the sunset shone with golden light on his face. No accident, he failed again and once again. He didn't give up, as he had become accustomed to it and got up to go back home. Is that Naruto? The son of the 4th generation of Hokage. Qinglong looked at Naruto sitting alone on the swing in the distance. He's also a pitiful person. My father was once the highest leader of Konoha, a hero who guarded her with his life, and my mother was Konoha's wealthy woman. Even when he was born, he became a container for Konoha to seal the 9 tails. As the son of a hero and also a hero himself, Naruto leads a life of hatred, disgust, abuse, and humiliation from the village. No one helps or cares, and he lives a life without money or friends. He is constantly being looked down upon by others. Poor thing. Qinglong smiled helplessly, feeling that he was not doing well either. He didn't know if Naruto knew it or not. There was also a group of children in the village of Kiba who called him and Naruto Kiba Xuanwu. A waste, a monster. Hey. Qinglong sighed, smiled helplessly, and didn't disturb him. He turned around and went home. No one knew how many ninjas in the dark and at the base were staring around Naruto. Qinglong's home is a small house in a civilian area, and he keeps greeting people as he passes by. Hello grandma. Hello auntie. People also smile back at Qinglong, who is beautiful, lovely, and very polite. Anyone would like such a good-looking, sensible, and polite child. Oh. Qinglong is back. Except for occasional contempt from children, others are relatively friendly to Qinglong. After all, this is a civilian area, and everyone is from the bottom, so no one laughs at anyone. Naruto over there had a different fate. After the people had dispersed, he returned home alone and was met with the cold eyes of the villagers all the way. When he returned home, he opened a bag of instant noodles, took out a bottle of expired milk, and made do with it for dinner. There was no instant noodles left in the instant noodle box, and he held his chest and pinched his chin in contemplation. I'm going to buy some instant noodles tomorrow and come back. As he spoke, he went to the corner and dug out a crumpled broken silver note. That afternoon, Uncle Hashu went to visit his friend for a drink and asked Qinglong to help him keep an eye on the shop. Qinglong sat in front of the shop counter, carefully looking at the shop, skillfully calculating and collecting money. It seemed that he had already practiced this matter early. The sun was shining brightly outside, and two young children wearing blue clothes passed by outside the store. The children are short and cute. Unison. I want to eat sugar. The child tugged at the hem of the boy's clothes and said. The boy touched the child's head. You go in and buy, I'll wait for you. Dang 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 dang. Someone is tapping on the desktop. I want to buy a candy. Qinglong climbed on the table without seeing anyone. A child in front of the table raised the money in his hand. I'm here. I want to buy sugar. Take this. The child pointed to a candy on the shelf. Sass. Qinglong was shocked. This is the protagonist of Hokage 2, The Two Pillars. Qinghui Tenliang. Qinglong smiled and handed him the candy, took the money ticket, and Sasuke happily shared the candy with Itachi. Itachi smiled and bent down, extending two fingers to nod Sasuke's forehead. Sasuke shyly felt the interaction with his brother. Sasuke, you can eat it yourself. Itachi pushed the candy back and left with Sasuke. Qinglong looked at Itachi, his eyes cold and alert. This guy is extremely dangerous. It's a cold-blooded lunatic. Those who are disloyal, unfilial, and unjust are not washed away by weasels. In fact, Uchiha did not pose a threat to Kiba at all. Since the Uchiha clan betrayed Ban, they have been tied to Kiba for peace. The issue between Uchiha and Kiba is mainly related to the ambition of Tanzang and the radical faction of Uchiha. Itachi, in order to eliminate Uchiha and gain power to control Kiba, has spared Uchiha's elderly, women, and children. TSK. Love Brain Itachi destroyed his entire family in order to hide this scumbag. It's really stupid. With perverts. Itachi seemed to feel the cold gaze behind him, and he suddenly turned around. Seeing Qinglong's smiling face with squinting eyes. Another child burst into the door and glanced at the candy in Sasuke's hand. His eyes were filled with envy and greed. He ran in, holding the crumpled silver bill in his hand. Uncle Hashu, I want to buy instant noodles. Qinglong poked his head out from the table. Which road is there? Naruto was taken aback for a moment. Do you know me? I immediately understood, nine-tailed fox Naruto. Who doesn't know in my village? Qinglong smiled and looked at him. Welcome to our store, Mr. Naruto. Naruto smiled happily as he finally met a child who didn't call him a demon fox. I want to buy instant noodles, all this money is for instant noodles. Qinglong counted the money tickets and delivered him a considerable amount of instant noodles. Considering how much instant noodles you've bought, I'll give you a candy. Qinglong handed over a candy. Naruto's eyes lit up and he looked happily at the candy in Qinglong's hand. Is it true? Give me a candy. Qinglong nodded affirmatively. It's just a marketing strategy to take care of old customers. Take it, you don't have to be polite. Naruto happily took the candy. Thank you so much, I will still buy instant noodles from you in the future. Qinglong smiled. Welcome back next time. Naruto happily left holding instant noodles, the sun shining brightly outside. Shoo! A figure wearing a mask suddenly appeared in front of the table, which startled Qinglong. The figure was wearing a special mask and clearly belonged to the dark side. Hey! Little ghost, stay away from the demon fox in the future. The nine-tailed demon fox is very dangerous. Qinglong seemed frightened and nodded nervously. The masked dark ninja nodded in satisfaction and disappeared with a whoosh sound. When Shu returned from drinking, he looked at Qinglong, who was bored practicing in the shop, and muttered drunkenly. Qinglong. It's okay if you can't extract chakras, and being an ordinary person is not bad either. Look at me. During my ninja years, I often participated in missions, wars, and went to kill people. In the end, if you look at me, with a broken hand, a broken foot, and a blind eye, people in this world cannot be honest with each other. Ninjas fight against each other, why not? He let out a whine hiccup. It's better to be an ordinary person. Uncle Hashu, you drank too much. Qinglong helped him sit on the lounge chair. I didn't drink too much, Qinglong. Your parents and I are comrades in arms, and they sacrificed themselves in war. We all hate war. He grinned and spat out the smell of alcohol, saying to Qinglong. Afraid of being a commoner without food to eat. If you're afraid, you'll take care of your uncle and inherit this store from you in the future. Qinglong shook his head. This is the world of ninjas, a world of constant warfare. At night, Qinglong lay in bed with wild thoughts. Perhaps being an ordinary person is also possible. Mu Yi is relatively stable, and here she marries a girl who can shout, Yil Yen Dai, living an ordinary life. I fell asleep in a hazy state, and in the middle of the night, there seemed to be some distant noise accompanied by people's shouts. The next day, at Uncle Waki's small shop, Harano Waki remained calm and his face was so dark that he wanted to drip water. Qinglong looked at him suspiciously, didn't he? It was just a hangover, so uncomfortable. The Uchiha clan has been exterminated. Harano Kazuki uttered a sentence with half a sound, which frightened Kiyotaka into a clever state. Thousands of people from all over the clan, including women, children, were killed, leaving only Uchiha Sasuke. No wonder early in the morning, the atmosphere of Mu Yi was not right. It turned out that last night was the night of the Uchiha clan's extermination. Qinglong took a deep breath and came to the world of Hokage, only then did he truly feel the cruelty of the world of Hokage. Chapter 2. Gold Finger to Account. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The world of Hokage is too dangerous, I must become stronger to protect myself. Now that I am 6 years old, I can start some targeted physical training. After all, the so called chakra is extracted from a person's spiritual and physical strength, and exercising the body may be miraculous. On the empty ground, a child stretched out his body and performed a previous life's boxing, then did 50 push-ups. After finishing all of this, he ran towards the sunrise of the wooden leaves. Kai, who had brought Lockley back from afar, saw all of this and squatted down, pointing to Qinglong in the distance and saying to Shaoli. Li, haven't you seen it yet? This is youth. Li, who was also dressed in a green suit, excitedly clenched his hands, with flames burning in his eyes. Ha! Kai slapped and knocked Shaoli away. Then why don't you go for a run and practice quickly? Hi! Li climbed down from the second floor with Kai's palm force, wiped a handful of nosebleeds, and ran towards the distance towards the sunrise. Kai's eyes were filled with tears as he watched. This is youth. Qinglong ran and saw a child wearing a strange green suit chasing after him. With a mushroom head hairstyle, he gave Qinglong a thumbs up, and his teeth sparkled at the corners of his mouth. Youth. Come on. As long as you work hard, you can become a great ninja. This it's Lok Li. Qinglong was shocked, the mushroom head hairstyle on that end was really eye-catching. This is a physical genius among Naruto. A hard-working genius. Come on. Li. Qinglong extended his thumb and gave him a thumbs up. After several days of exercising, Qinglong encountered this Li, who was indeed a hard-working genius. Lok Li's efforts were visible every day. In recent years, Qinglong has also seen the legendary green and blue beast of the wooden leaf, Mike Kai, dressed in a green suit, with a mushroom head and teeth that sparkle even more than sunlight. Sure enough, he is the brightest child in the wood leaf. Due to Li's appearance, Qinglong also witnessed the legendary Kai, the blue beast of Mai. Qinglong, you worked hard, but unfortunately you didn't have chakra. Kai is very regretful that Qinglong did not have a chakra, he is also a hard-working young man. But Qinglong didn't give up. After a few days of training, he began to increase his running range. He is still very unfamiliar with my village now, and has never been to many places. Not to mention the exclusivity of the Uchiha clan, he never dared to go before, let alone now. There are also the Hinata clan who refuse outsiders to enter, not to mention the Oil Maiden clan who keep insects, and the Dog Tomb clan who keep dogs, all of which are places that outsiders dare not approach. Worried about what to do, there were several blocking dogs at the intersection ahead, each fiercely and vigilantly staring at Qinglong. A few big dogs stood taller than Qinglong, with a pair of big eyes fixed on him and sharp fangs exposed from their mouths. A terrifying sense of oppression came towards them. Qinglong stared at them for a while, feeling flustered. Suddenly, he remembered that on the Blue Star, when he encountered a vicious dog bending down to pick up a stone, the dog became afraid. Do you want to pick up a stone? Do whatever you want. Qinglong bent down to pick up a big fist stone, and the group of dogs looked at the children picking up the stone in front of them as if they were looking at a little fool. Why hasn't this child left yet? Should we drive him away? Qinglong held the stone in his hand and felt a bit wary of it for a moment. In the end, his nerves twitched and he really threw it over. The stone threw an arc and fell to the ground, rolling in front of several dogs. Woo! A dog roar followed by several dogs roaring together, pretending to pounce. Wow! Qinglong let out a strange cry, turned around and ran away. Woo! Woo woof! A group of dogs shouted and rushed out to chase after them, barking loudly for a moment. A little boy with a patterned face next to him was holding a white puppy and pulling his pants open towards a utility pole to pee. At the moment when the dog pack rushed out, the white little dog also started barking along with it. As it watched the barking and rushing out of the pack, it also rushed out. Before Inuzuka could even put on his pants while urinating halfway, Akamaru pulled him unsteadily, carrying the unfinished pants in one hand and running wildly. Urine spilled all over the floor after running half a leaf of wood. Qinglong felt that the barking of the dog behind him was gradually not catching up. Without time to turn around, I bumped into a pair of round jade pillar thighs at the corner. Duong. Warm and bouncing Q. Qinglong looked up and saw a pair of towering and semi-circular huge peaks. Taking a few steps back, Qinglong finally managed to see the owner of the monster with a slightly angry and pretty face. Gangshou lowered his head and looked at the little ghost in front of him. He hated bear kids and the like the most. It's Gangshou. Qinglong bent down and bowed, addressing him as a blue star. Big sister, I'm sorry. Gangshou's angry face quickly dissipated, and a curved smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. This little ghost calls itself sister, TSK. My Gangshou Ji is indeed very young. Ho 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 ho. Ha. Women. Gangshou showed a gentle smile, holding his chest and bending down, as if two round moons were hanging in mid-air. If Zilai had also seen this scene, he would definitely have nosebleeds flowing out. Qinglong also touched his nose. Fortunately, there was no nosebleed flowing out. What's wrong, little brother? He's running so fast. Afterwards. There's a dog chasing me. Qinglong gasped for breath and then remembered being chased by a dog. He quickly approached Gangshou and hugged his thigh before looking back. Sure enough, those dogs have disappeared. Gangshou reached out his finger and tapped Qinglong's forehead to push him away, his face angry, but not towards Qinglong. The dogs of the Inuzuka family are becoming more and more arrogant, and they are not afraid to scare the children in the village. Little ghost, don't run around in my. Recently, there have been bad people committing crimes in my. Be careful not to catch you and run away. Qinglong quickly nodded, looking as if he had been taught. Thank you, big sister. But his special physique cannot even extract chakra. Who would kidnap him? Gangshou nodded in satisfaction before turning around and leaving. Behind him, Muto Kato hugged the humming pig and quickly followed. The next day, Qinglong dared not run that road again, afraid of encountering the evil dog of the Inuzuka family again. But whatever you're afraid of, you can't escape if you come. Just passed a crossroad and encountered a dog from the Inagaka clan. Kuzuka Flower was taking a walk with a pack of dogs when Qinghe was spotted by a group of vicious dogs as soon as he appeared at the intersection. With a roar, a group of dogs chased after them again. Inazukaya was holding his Akamaru and defecating together. Akamaru saw the dog barking and quickly finished. With a woof sound, he followed the pack of dogs and chased after him. Once again, Inazukaya was pulled along by Akamaru before putting on his pants, and a few pieces of yellow, orange, and orange objects fell from behind. The Huzuka Flower behind chased after the group of dogs in panic and kept shouting at them. Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha! Qinglong lay tired on the playground. It turned out that the dog activity area of the Inuzuka family was so large, no wonder he had been chased by dogs almost every day when he went out for a run these days. He was half exhausted. Chakra hasn't been refined yet. There is nothing to love in life. Ding. The host has been practicing for 3 years and 6 months, and has also undergone high-intensity training and clocking in continuously for 7,749 days. Super Saiyan system activated. Congratulations to the host. Exhausted, Qinglong thought he had a tinkling in his ear and then had an illusion. Super Saiyan system. Qinglong's hazy murmur. I'm here. A crisp electronic sound appears in one's ear, or rather in one's mind. Congratulations to the host for activating the Super Saiyan system. Novice rewards the host with a Saiyan Physique. Host, please claim it. Claim. A stream of energy flowed into his body, and Qinglong seemed to see a planet exploding inside, creating the universe. The exhaustion of the body swept away, and there seemed to be an endless force on the body. Qinglong sat up in shock, and a holographic screen appeared in front of him. All of this is not a dream. My golden finger has finally arrived. Ahahaha. 3 years later, 3 more years. It's been a whole 6 years. The system doesn't have you. Do you know how I've been through these 6 years? Qinglong was so excited that she shed tears. Qinglong. I knew you would be happy to see us. Lok Li, dressed in green, suddenly burst out, spinning into a self-proclaimed cool outfit. suddenly disturbed the interaction between Qinglong and the system. Come on. From today on, we can train together again. I also asked Teacher Kai to guide you in practicing together. Kai, who followed behind, flashed out and grinned, his mouth shining brightly in the sky. Extend a big thumb. Qinglong works so hard to cultivate, this is youth. Li excitedly jumped his feet and cooperated with Kai's hands to compete with Oli. Yeah. By practicing together, we can definitely defeat those so-called geniuses. Oh, no one has given him any sense of pressure in terms of physical training and perseverance, except for Qinglong. Qinglong looked at Kai, a passionate man based on Bruce Lee, and no matter how he looked, he felt that he looked more like 8 tails of gold. Okay. Let's practice together tomorrow. Qinglong agreed. Yoshi. Li's eyes were filled with burning passion. Great. I'm ready to create a new training outfit for you. Kai is very satisfied, this is the passion-burning youth. Hey. Thank you, Teacher Kai. Li is extremely excited. Teacher Kai's training uniform is his belief. No need. Qinglong was shocked. Quickly refuse. Sigma, degree winky face. You're welcome. Kai waved his hand grandly and ran away with Li Xiu. Leaving behind a stunned Qinglong, it wasn't until a moment later that he excitedly remembered the cute system. Tongzi, come out. I'm here. Electronic sound remembered, and a holographic screen appeared again in front of me. Qinglong was extremely excited, and after thinking for a moment, he decided to go back home and operate again. Newcomer gift package, do you want to claim it? Claim. Returning home, Qinglong didn't worry as much and immediately received the beginner gift pack. A set of Gue Xian Ren's training suit. The secret of Turtle Immortal Flow Cultivation Part 1, click on the cultivation secret and a piece of information will merge into your mind, which is the practice method taught by Professor Sun Wukong of the Turtle Immortal. I also took out the Gue Xian Ren training suit, which fit perfectly on my body. Standing in front of the mirror, I saw a cute and delicate child with a hint of handsome youth like the 7 Dragon Balls. Qinglong looked at his personal information. Host. Kiyotaka Tenazawa Power. Battle 5 Scumbags, none as good as them. Cultivation Method. Gue Xian Ren Cultivation Method Skill. None equipment props. None, ding. The system has released the task. Task 1. Self-discipline can make one stronger, the host cultivates through self-discipline. Doing 200 push-ups every day, running 10 laps around a wooden leaf, jumping 5 laps with a frog, lifting 20 pounds 100 times after completing the cultivation task, clock in for 10 consecutive days and participate in a lucky draw. Come on. Sa Nian. Flattery inside. Qinglong has become irritable. Isn't it just lying down and getting stronger with the system? Gone. The system seems a bit angry. Host, please put yourself in the right mindset. This system is a Super Saiyan system, not a pig farming system. Chapter 3. Turtle Fairy Flow Training. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. It's not dawn yet. Qinglong was sleeping in bed and vaguely heard the sound of the window being opened. He opened his sleepy eyes. Hey! Little ghost! Get up now! With a loud roar, Qinglong was scared away by the sleeping insects that shook him. I saw Maikai squatting at the window door at some point, holding a set of green clothes in one hand and gesturing a thumb in the other. His shiny white teeth could even shine brightly in the dimly lit room. Little ghost. This is the training suit I prepared for you, handsome. Don't be moved, get up quickly and put it on for uncle to see. Qinglong, who had just woken up, was so scared by that training suit that he almost fell asleep. No need. I have a practice suit. Qinglong's heart skipped a beat and he quickly refused. He woke up in a daze and ran to the restroom to change into a turtle fairy training suit. Kai looked regretfully at the training suit in his hand. It's a pity. With such good practice clothes, I can only give them to Lee. Lee will definitely be very happy. Let's go. Little devil, go train. Okay. Qinglong quickly opened the door and followed. By the small river in my village. Kai stood on the side staring at the two little ones, and he said to Shaoli. Alright, let's start warming up now and do 500 push-ups first. Oh. Shaoli will start moving immediately. Qinglong also twisted and stretched his body. After warming up, Qinglong faced the sunrise and sat on a stone with large sun seals in his hands, meditating in peace. Qinglong little ghost hasn't extracted the chakra yet. Might Kai sighed. Lee. After completing 500 push-ups, let's also refine the chakra. Oh. The sun is gradually rising, and Qinglong's Saiyan Physique has been developed. Surprisingly, he has already cultivated a sense of qi. Watching Qinglong's breath gradually rise, Kai was extremely shocked. This little devil seems to be getting stronger. Become stronger at a speed visible to the naked eye. But he still hasn't checked the carrot. Qinglong jumped up from meditation and moved his body, feeling full of strength. Uncle Kai. Let's start running. First, let's run 10 laps around the wooden leaves. Kai immediately set aside his non-reflective brain and shouted excitedly to Shaoli. Leo. The passionate youth is running around the leaves of wood. Let's run under the sunrise, burn. Youth. Boil. Youth. Yoshi. Kai's youthful confession made Shaoli's excited pupils burst into flames. Step up your legs and ride first, take the lead. Hee hee, after running around the wooden leaves for half a circle, Qinglong pointed to an intersection. Li, run this way. This intersection is the direction leading to the Inagaka clan. Inazukaya is once again soaring, holding his Akamaru in one hand and crouching in the grass with a toilet paper in the other. Qinglong picked up a stone and threw it over. The stone fell with a clatter and rolled a few times in front of a group of big dogs. The group of dogs raised their heads and saw the familiar little ghost throwing stones at them, and even showing them 2 middle fingers. Unexpectedly, they all understood the meaning of the middle finger and chased after each other with a loud roar. Upon seeing this, Qinglong turned around and ran, while he stared blankly at a group of grinning dogs rushing towards him. He was also frightened and turned around and ran. Kai was afraid that the dog pack would harm the 2 little ghosts and was about to intervene. Bang! A dog bigger than a water buffalo suddenly appeared and grabbed his shoulder. Kai. Don't worry, let the children play if they make a fuss. The dogs won't harm your 2 little ones. Wong 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 wong, a large group of dogs chased through the village roads and alleys, barking loudly. Qinglong felt really exciting. At this moment, the system playing the opening song, Magical Dragon Ball, by the 7 Dragon Ball in Qinglong's ear felt incredibly free and carefree, leaving the dog pack far behind. Leave behind Shaoli, who was frightened and running behind. This is the first time he has been chased by a dog at such a big age. It's really scary, and he almost got his butt bitten. He used all his strength to run and eat milk. Might Kai is very satisfied. Li exceeded the training task this day, and indeed, the training with his accomplices is effective. Qinglong, in order to thank you for training with Shaoli, it's my treat tonight. How sorry about that. Before Qinglong could refuse, his stomach let out a gurgling sound. Might Kai laughed heartily. Look. If your stomach agrees, don't refuse. Qinglong no longer refuses, he is really hungry. In Yao Lamian Noodle store, a big bowl of Lamian noodles was brought out with a smile. On the table in front of Qinghe, the bowls he had eaten were piled up to a full dozen, and he was still eating them quickly and big. He forgot that the appetite of the Saiyan people is extremely amazing, and their growth requires a lot of energy. They are truly the king of stomachs. On the side, Might Kai stared blankly at Qinglong, who was feasting on her, his hands trembling as he held his wallet. Qinglong smiled awkwardly as he looked at the bowls piled up on the table, and accidentally ate so much. Ah! I'm full. Thank you, Uncle Kai, for your hospitality. Actually, he could still eat, but in the end, he felt embarrassed. Thank you for making delicious Lamian noodles. Qinglong felt embarrassed as he watched Kai trembling to make the payment. Kai patted him. Eating more is okay. Young people have a healthy body, being able to eat is a blessing. Ha ha ha, both of them looked at each other with awkward smiles. After a day of training, Qinglong lay tired in bed and looked at the system panel, which showed that he had been clocking in continuously for a day. Feeling contented and fulfilled, Qinglong fell asleep happily. The next day, I woke up early and started practicing. After 10 consecutive days, I checked in for 10 days and finally won a lottery. Qinglong sat happily on the bed, taking a shower and changing clothes, opening the system panel to prepare for the lottery. Are you preparing for a lottery? Lottery. Qinglong excitedly rubbed his hands. The lottery wheel rotates. Duong. A large turtle shell fell and hit the floor, making a dull sound. On the system panel, there is a prompt saying congratulations on drawing the turtle shell for the weight training of the turtle fairy. Load-bearing turtle shell, the system must produce high-quality products, with an adjustable weight of 10 kg 100 kg, which can increase cultivation results by 30%. I'll go. Qinglong was shocked. It was truly a masterpiece, capable of adjusting weight and improving cultivation results. Ding! The system has updated the task. The new task requires carrying heavy turtle shells every day, doing 200 sit-ups, running 10 laps around wooden leaves, jumping 5 laps around wooden leaves, and lifting 50 pounds and 100 times shit. Isn't it necessary to carry at least 10 kilograms of turtle shells every day to make appearances in the entire village? Awkwardly speaking, the next day, Shaoli looked at Qinglong's turtle shell in shock. Might Kai beside him pondered whether it was time to prepare weight-bearing equipment for Li. In the early morning, the wooden leaves are illuminated by sunlight and dewdrops. Qinglong is like a mature little turtle carrying a heavy turtle shell and running around. What's despicable is that the dog of the Inuzuka family appeared inexplicably, as if it had been ambushed and rushed up when it saw Qinglong. Among them, there was a young boy from the Inuzuka family who led his little white dog, excitedly and gritting his teeth, shouting and rushing out. Kimara-chong. Don't let those two little bastards go. Woo, woof, woof, woof. Qinglong and Li were extremely embarrassed, and were chased by the dog again, running around the wooden leaf for a few laps. 10 days later, Qinglong insisted on 10 consecutive days of clock in training and finally welcomed the lottery. Showering and changing clothes, rubbing my hands. Has the host started a lottery? That's for sure. Training hard is not just for this moment. Lottery. The wheel rotates and finally comes to a stop. Congratulations to the host for winning the Turtle Immortal Technique, Turtle Sec Qigong, in the lottery. I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. Surprisingly, it's turtle-style Qigong. Ha ha ha. It's developed. This is a super powerful move that has never been lost against Bo. In the future, if any tailed beast Jade Void Dog Cannon is sent from the opposite side, I will send it in one wave. Do you want to click to learn? The system prompts. Of course learning. Qinglong clicked to confirm. A wave of informatization brought warmth to his mind, and he had already learned Gui Pai Qigong. Chapter 4. The Fatty Times of Pulling Burma. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the early morning, people who have just woken up have just woken up. Qinglong had already appeared in the forest outside the village. Excited, he couldn't wait to test the power of Turtle Sec Qigong. I saw him facing a huge ancient tree, with his hands clasped in the shape of sepals and placed at his waist. Turtle. Pi. Chi. With Qinglong's low roar. A light spot the size of a grain of rice appeared in the palms of both hands, and the spot rapidly expanded into a ball of light. Intense energy is gathering in the cage. Gong. Qinglong, big. Push your hands forward. In an instant, the light shone brightly, illuminating a small forest. Boom. The energy ball burst out with a long tail and rushed towards the ancient tree. Boom. Boom. The ancient trees were blown up, and half of the tree trunks were blown up. Qinglong panted heavily and was very satisfied with the power of such an effect. The first time little son Wukong used turtle sect qigong was to deflate a small car. Qinglong looked around, unsure if the explosion had attracted the ninjas in the dark. Seeing no one in the four fields, he sneaked away from the scene and began a new day of cultivation. 10 days later, Qinglong clicked on the lottery again. The lottery wheel rotates and stops at a certain moment. A delicate little chubby figure appeared from the air and landed in front of Qinglong sitting on the bed. Qinglong lifted little chubby figure with both hands. Startled with suspicion, what is this? Is it possible that it's a chubby one? System. Congratulations to the host for drawing Chi-Chi's chubby little times. Chi-Chi's little fatty times. Sun Wukong took off Chi-Chi's little fatty times, and also Chi-Chi's body temperature. I'll go. System. What do you think you're smoking? Qinglong shook his hand and Pixiv fell onto the bed. He was stunned. What the hell is this little lowly chubby with a faint body temperature? Do the system think he would wear this little chubby kawaii girl outfit? Who can't bear it? System. What do you mean, do you think I would wear this chubby outfit? Faced with Qinglong's questioning, the system calmly answered. Host, don't get excited. The lottery in this system is a random item that can be drawn to the Dragon Ball world. And the host can rest assured. Even if the host secretly wears it, I won't reveal it to anyone else. Qinglong suddenly became speechless. The last time he was speechless was still the last time, and he was too lazy to pay attention to the system. After working hard for 10 days, that's the reward. Psychologically, it couldn't help but recall that when Sun Wukong first met Bulma, he took advantage of Chi-Chi's deep sleep to shed her weight and stared at her little sister to study. There was also the old and lecherous turtle fairy who used Dragon Balls to deceive Bulma and wanted to see how fat the girl was, but he was seen by the turtle fairy all over. Qinglong really wants to shout, Vegeta, your wife has been turned green. Taking another look at Pixiv in his hand, Qinglong felt guilty and clumped up. For a moment, he didn't know where to hide it. It was better not to be discovered by others that there was a girl's Pixiv in his room. When Might Kai returned from his mission again, he was shocked to find that Qinglong's strength had greatly improved. How long has it been? Qinglong was originally behind Li's physique, but now there is a trend of surpassing Li's. Kelly used his spare days to concentrate training with Li and Qinghe again, and truly saw Qinglong's progress and strength. As Kai was preparing to leave Kiba for another mission, he wrote a letter of recommendation to the ninja school with his love for talent, hoping to allow Kiyoshi Tenazawa to enroll. A person in charge of the ninja school sat in his office seat and opened the recommendation letter sent by Kai. Is it the little devil of the Tenazawa family? Is he a hard-working genius? Shoo. Is there such a cheap genius? Without chakra, what's the point of trying harder? With a cold snort, he waved his hand and the paper fell from his hand, falling into the trash basket. After all, it's just a waste that can't even extract chakras. Qinglong didn't know what Might Kai had done for him. He is currently working hard to eat and eat. Saya's human body is really edible. He ate up a month's allowance in a few days. These days, he has been thinking about wild game, which may be due to the physical characteristics of the Saiyan people. It is easy to encounter large animals for meat when going out. At this moment, he was fishing by the river in the outskirts of the village, and not far from the river, there was also a thin and small person fishing in the shallow water, wearing a distinctive yellow outfit and a head of yellow hair. It's undoubtedly Naruto's child. This poor child, despite being a fourth-generation prince or a heroic descendant of the village, is worrying about his livelihood. He seems to have been touching it for a while, not even a single fish has been touched, and his body is covered in water. When Qinglong looked at Naruto, he felt the thick fishing rod in his hand move. There seems to be a huge black shadow appearing in the water. When the fishing rod suddenly shook and pulled down, Qinglong also vigorously swung the fishing rod. Wow! A big fat fish was pulled up from the water. Number 34, click number 34, at a critical moment, the fishing rod couldn't bear the weight of the fish and suddenly broke, causing the huge fat fish to jump by the water's edge. Qinglong threw down his fishing rod and threw himself in, holding a fish as big as a fat pig and rolling around, splashing a large splash of water. The Naruto over there was also attracted by the sound of water splashing. He looked at the big fish fighting against Qinglong in shock, with a face full of shock and envy. He stepped on the water to see if he needed help. Qinglong instantly knocked down the big fish and swung his fist, touch it. 2 times, the big fish's eyes fainted in a circle of stars. Qinglong dragged the big fish ashore and looked up at Naruto. Naruto, come and help. The two of them handled the big fish and placed it on the fire. The light of the fire reflected on their small faces, both looking greedy. Qinglong had never studied any culinary skills in his previous life. Looking at the large grilled fish, he let out a deep sigh, which really embarrassed the army of travelers. He didn't really know how to cook. Gradually, the fragrance of fish emerged, and both of them flowed out of Hadako. When the fish is cooked, remove the pitch-black scales and skin from the fire, sprinkle with pitiful seasoning, and then bake over the remaining charcoal fire. The two of them eagerly indulged in a feast, with most of it entering Qinglong's stomach. They were half full and lay comfortably groaning on the ground. Next time I'll treat you to ramen noodles. Naruto touched his stomach and said. Qinglong held a piece of grass in his mouth and looked at the sky. Good. Is it the ramen noodles called yao? It's just fun. That ramen noodles is delicious. When it comes to yao ramen noodles, Naruto is very excited. A group of children in the distance saw the two people here, showing a disgusted expression and constantly uttering cold words. Look at that. It's the 9-tailed demon fox, the curse of my village. And that, the waste that doesn't extract chakras. One monster, one trash, it's really amazing. Listening to their words, Naruto's excited expression immediately lowered. The child across from him was even more determined, picking up stones from the ground and throwing them at him. The stone weakly flew and fell onto the fire beside Qinglong, jumping and jumping. Unlike Naruto's dull expression, Kiyotaka stood up, clenched his fists and walked towards the group of children. What are you doing? Waste. Are you going to fight? Those little brats are asking arrogantly. Yes. I'm just going to beat you up. Qinglong approached them with a grim smile. Shui done, shui bullet. The leading child has already stood with his hands imprinted, and saliva is brewing in his mouth. Qinglong grabbed the hands of the little fart child that had been imprinted, and slapped him in the mouth. The technique of water cannon was interrupted, and then Qinglong started punching a child one by one. A group of little brats were crying and calling for their mothers, while Naruto in the distance was stunned. Until the last child left in the midst of crying for their mother. In the Hokage building, a figure flashed, and members of the Dark Department half knelt to report to the third-generation Hokage Ape Flying Sun / Hokage Lord, Naruto is currently with a little ghost named Tenazawa Kiyotaka. The two are catching fish by the river to eat, and they are also in conflict with the children in the village. Monkey Flying Sun / took a puff of smoke. Naruto can also have friends now, and he also learned how to fight. Smoke was swirling, and Yuan Fury was holding a pipe in his hand. Making some friends with Naruto would also deepen his bond with the village. One-eyed Tuanzong walked in, his face stiffening solemnly as he lifted his cane and struck the floor. Sun / I still said, give the nine-tailed pillar power to the root. If you let the nine-tailed demon fox go like this, it will threaten the village. Sandai Huiying frowned and said, Naruto is also a member of our Konoha clan. He is a child of Shuemen, and I will not allow you to do so. Renjuli is not an ordinary child, I will never let anyone who threatens the village exist. Tuanzang watched as the monkeys flew and the sun chopped. Sun / don't worry, I can definitely cultivate the nine-tailed pillar power into the most powerful weapon in the village. 3 generations of Hokage snorted coldly in their hearts, handing over Naruto. It's hard to say whether it's the village's weapon or your group's hidden weapon then. I won't let Naruto enter the root, Tanzo, you die of this heart. As long as he deepens his bond with the village, he will have a sense of belonging to the village and can also become the successor of the will of fire. Tuanzang's face was unsightly, and Yuan Fury's idea of cutting off the sun was just too idealistic. Riju, you're too idealistic. Naruto must enter the roots. I am the Hokage, said the monkey flying sun in a cold voice. Tuanzang paused for a moment, got up, and slammed the door out. The wooden leaves will eventually be destroyed in your hands. Sun / you will regret it. Chapter 5. Naruto is a lucky guy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, in the blink of an eye for 3 years. In the past 3 years, Qinglong has made tremendous progress, persisting in continuous training every day. Not only has his strength improved, but he has also drawn various strange things and skills. I have mastered Sun Fist, Remnant Image Fist, Dancing Empty Steps. Now even he doesn't know how powerful he is. When Might Kai returned from his mission, he saw a moving boulder mountain outside the village, and a small person pushing the boulder mountain down the mountain. At this moment, he was shocked. Who is it that can push a small mountain? As Might Kai approached, he looked at Kiyoshi Tenazawa in shock. Has this kid reached this point yet? It's really amazing. Perhaps this is the miracle of youth. He didn't disturb Qinglong's cultivation, turned around and went to the Huiying office building. While handing over the task, he decided to write another recommendation letter for Qinglong's enrollment. Qinglong certainly noticed that someone was observing him, but he didn't care. With such a large amount of dynamic training, he couldn't avoid being discovered. I, Kiyoshi Tenazawa, need no words from others, only do things in my heart. Pushing the stone hill to the top of the mountain, Qinglong nodded satisfied and finished today's cultivation task. In the village of Mai, the sun is setting and Naruto is squatting by the bookshelf after school, holding a book with concentration, his eyes almost touching the page of the book. What a lot of masturbation. Let out a loud shout. Ah oh. Naruto jumped up in fear, quickly hid the book behind his buttocks, and then threw it onto the bookstall. Qinglong Jun. So it's you, why did you scare me? Tsk tisk. Qinglong turned his gaze over Naruto and looked towards the bookstall. I didn't expect it. Naruto, you actually enjoy watching this thing. Ah. Nothing. Nothing. Naruto quickly waved his hands to argue, and a cold sweat dripped down his face. Qinglong has a look on his face. Guess I believe it or not. I'm learning. Naruto continued to defend himself. Really? Learning. Looking at the illustrations of the beautiful women with sparse clothes on the bookshelf, Qinglong is speechless and the little fart child has not even grown hair yet. What kind of thing are you learning? Do you think I believe it or not? Qinglong looked down upon your little brat in his eyes. It's not that I look down on you, are you sure you can learn? Don't look down on me. Naruto became angry and said, I just created a new ninjutsu, let me show you its power. As Naruto spoke, his hands formed a seal. The art of seduction. Touch. A cloud of smoke exploded, and a Naruto version of a beautiful girl appeared. She was covered in only a hint of smoke, with a curvaceous and graceful figure that was too alluring. Oh! Qinglong Jun. A sweet voice rang out, and Naruto's beautiful girl blinked and made a cute pout. Ah! Death Demon! Qinglong exclaimed in surprise and kicked over. Bang! Naruto fell on the roadside and turned back, covering his kicked belly. I really can't do it. The spell I created. Naruto was very frustrated. It was his first time sharing his hard-earned ninjutsu with a good friend, but he never expected to encounter such a failure. Qinglong's heart has lingering palpitations. Naruto has not yet realized the power of his seduction technique. It's okay. Fortunately, in my past life, I have seen a wide range of people and monsters, and in an era where beauty filters were wide open, otherwise I would have been afraid of Naruto's way. Watching Naruto's disappointment and thinking of his powerful move, Kagaya caught his attention and couldn't let him give up on his research. Hurriedly comforted and encouraged Naruto, allowing him to finally regain his confidence. So your ninjutsu was created by attending a female ninja class. Qinglong suddenly realized. You are truly worthy of it, Naruto Vortex, the genius ninja of Kiba village, and an existence like a crouching dragon and phoenix chick. But he also understood Naruto's quirky actions in his heart. Naruto has been lonely since childhood, and in order to integrate into the group, he always participates in school activities, even the ninja class is no exception. Due to the higher success rate of female ninja compared to male ninja in performing some special tasks, the school has set up female ninja classes specifically for girls. Naruto is the first male student in the female ninja class in so many years. When the girls in the ninja class were studying etiquette, body shape, makeup, and other subjects, Naruto directly created the seductive transformation technique for this. What kind of genius ninja? The spell I created still doesn't work. Naruto is a bit discouraged. Don't do it. Naruto, your skill has great potential. You just lack some experience and vision. You haven't really unleashed the power of this technique yet. Qinglong hooked Naruto's shoulder and comforted him, extending his index finger slightly to his thumb. Come on. I'll show you some of my cherished materials. Learn for you. He secretly took out a bunch of sexy and beautiful pictures from his arms, shining in front of Naruto. I don't know about Huowu, Icarus, Kashizaki Shina, Shinhua Kaichi, Yanlingji, Medusa, Angel, Meima, Elf. This bunch of pictures of various beautiful women were all obtained from the system lottery. Naruto's eyes immediately lit up as he looked, had a DC. Wow! This fire dance sister is so sexy. And also, this angel named Icarus, wow, pure and lustful. It's my wife. Wow! And this. Naruto looked at it while admiring it. Are these all for me? How can this be? What do you think? I can only lend it to you for reference, and if you use it up, you still need to return it to me. Qinglong also said without blinking his eyes. Until they finished reading the last one, both of them were still unsatisfied. Qinglong, give it a smack. TSK. How about changing Naruto's seductive transformation technique into one? Come on. Transform into an unknown fire dance and show it to your brothers, let them enjoy themselves. Ah. No. no, 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 Naruto quickly refused. Come on. Come on. Qinglong's hands formed a ball-like grasp and kept scratching, with a low smile on his face. Kill it. Naruto shyly refused and transformed into a beautiful woman on the street. Isn't he shameless? Ah. What are you doing, Naruto-jun? Hinata, who passed by, looked at them in surprise with curious and incredulous eyes. Ah. You guys keep bothering Naruto. Hinata turned around in pain and ran away. Ah. Ah. Qinglong Naruto is confused, this little girl, Hinata, must have misunderstood. Ah. Hinata, you misunderstood. Qinglong shouted loudly, quickly turned around and chased after him. Naruto, quickly explained to Hinata. Don't let the crown princess misunderstand. Oh, oh. Naruto quickly caught up. After finally catching up with Hinata and explaining clearly, Kiyoshi and Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. Just don't be misunderstood. Otherwise, my lifelong reputation will be ruined. Naruto patted Qinglong's shoulder and joked. I said Qinglong. You shouldn't have fallen in love with Hinata, right? She's a strange person. Qinglong stared blankly at Naruto. Didn't you know she was your future crown princess? If you don't want it, then I won't be polite. Naruto, who lacked love since childhood, only received love from Hinata, but it gave him a strange feeling, so he thought Hinata was a strange person. Qinglong was speechless and wanted to slap Naruto. You are such a steel-straight man, look at me if I don't kill you. If it weren't for you being my friend, I would have snatched all the Hinata for you. Naruto let out a painful moan, feeling very displeased, and let out a beep at Qinglong. The sky began to set in the evening. Qinglong, let's go to eat ramen noodles. I invite you to eat ramen noodles. Naruto held a bunch of beautiful pictures, leaving only the two lonely people on the road. Qinglong nodded, let's go and have some ramen noodles. Yao ramen noodles shop. When the curtain was lifted, Mingming people shouted when they came in. Hands on uncle, 2 ramen noodles. Oh. It's Naruto. Xiaoda was very happy to see Naruto's arrival, and quickly finished 2 bowls of ramen noodles. It's the first time that Xiao Naruto brought friends to eat ramen noodles. I specially added an extra egg for you. Wow. Thank you so much for hitting uncle. Naruto was extremely excited and took out 2 crumpled free coupons from his pocket. Qinglong looked at the free coupon of ramen noodles in Naruto's hand and was speechless. I've been wandering in the streets of Mai for so many years, but I haven't received several free tickets of Yao ramen noodles. On the contrary, free tickets of ramen noodles in Naruto's hands are emerging one after another. Is it not in good condition at all? Qinglong couldn't help but think that he cared about Naruto's Hinata, Iruka, Dial, and Hashu. Actually, everyone is silently caring for Naruto in their own way. Naruto also responded to people with his optimistic and kind attitude. Some people always say that Daitu is the unfortunate Naruto, and Naruto is the lucky Daitu. In fact, compared to Naruto, Daitu is simply not worthy. Perhaps there are also people who silently care about Mai, who destroyed him with soil. The Mai people he killed may also have a field that silently likes him. However, he turned a blind eye and ruthlessly attacked his companions without mercy. And Naruto's kind will has never wavered, no matter what difficulties he faces, he has always been kind. His kindness is a light that illuminates Kiba village and the world of ninjas. Qinglong, don't be fooled, let's eat. Uncle Handbeater specially added an egg to us all. Naruto said that he had already started to take action, and with a clap of his hands, he said, I'm going to start. Uncle Xiaoda's ramen noodles is really delicious. Qinglong, don't you think so? Oh, by one, the taste is authentic. Qinglong nodded to praise Yao ramen noodles. Qinglong, you're too lonely not to go to school. Lonely. Yeah. I really want you to go to school together. Naruto took a sip of ramen noodles and said, let me introduce some friends to you tomorrow. Okay. So it's settled. After a while, they came out of ramen noodles after they were full. Naruto touched his pocket and scratched his head. Well, I've finished drinking my milk and I'm going to buy a bottle of milk. Go check if there is any expired milk in Uncle Hishu's store. The expired milk in Uncle Hishu's store is delicious. The two of them arrived at the Hishu shop, where Uncle Hishu was drinking a plate of side dishes at the counter. Oh. It's Qinglong coming, and there's also Naruto kid. Uncle Hishu, I want to buy a bottle of milk. Pointed to the corner with the tree. Do you want a box of expired milk over there? I'll give you a 10% discount, and Qinglong will go get it for him. Qinglong took out the milk. You don't have to look to know that it hasn't expired yet. But the neurotic Naruto knew that he paid and happily went back with the milk in his arms. Qinglong shook his head in silence. Naruto, what a lucky guy. Chapter 6. Skipping classes 4.5. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In class, teacher Irika is working hard to teach. Naruto was already dozing off on the table, Aikido Dinji was constantly eating snacks, Inazukaya was teasing his dog under the table, and Naralumaru was already lost in thought. Irika was giving a lecture with great effort, and his mouth was foaming hard, only to see several people below taking turns. He let out a loud roar. What a mess! Autumn Road Ding Ci. Nara Dear Maru. Inazukaya. What's going on with you guys? You're taking a break in class again. Xiao Daoding was startled, and the bag of potato chips he had just taken out exploded in nervousness. Bang! Naruto, who had already dreamed of kissing Sakura Haruno, was scared and jumped up. Irika looked at his forehead and screamed, pointing out of the classroom door. You all. Go to the classroom door and punish me for standing. The four of them walked out of the classroom in a disheveled manner, and Hinata looked at Naruto, secretly feeling worried. Irika wiped his sweat, picked up a teacup, took a sip of water, and continued his lecture. Outside the classroom, the Naruto trio exchanged eye contact with each other. Then he secretly lowered his body and walked quietly towards the outside, and Inazukaya also secretly followed him when he saw it. Irika, who had just finished speaking, stopped to take a sip of water and saw this scene. He was so angry that he spewed out a mouthful of water. Ah! You four little ghosts! Naruto and his team noticed that Irika was running faster and jumped out of the window, followed by Inazukaya who was holding Akamaru in a hurry and almost fell. Leave Irika lying at the window, angrily cursing. Ah! You four little devils are openly skipping classes. Qinglong had good luck today. During the training at Pushing Stone Mountain, he woke up a big wild boar, which roared angrily and even took the initiative to deliver it to his door. Dragging his eyes and spinning in circles, Qinglong was extremely excited. Daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. Daifengshu, salad of assorted fresh vegetables. Tonight's dinner is settled. Across the street, there is a group of 4 Naruto skipping classes, and the 4 little brats are collectively skipping classes. Oh! Qinglong, I knew you were here. Naruto jumped up and waved his hand. He ran over to watch as the corners of the mouth of the big wild boar dragged by Qinglong began to drool. You are truly Qinglong. You have hunted such a big prey again. Haha. Naruto skipped class again today, and happened to hit a wild dolphin today. I'll treat you to meat today. Oh. There's meat to eat. Naruto jumped 3 feet high with joy. Ah. So it's your kid. Following Inazukaya, he immediately recognized this guy who used to come to Inazuka's house frequently to pick trouble and cause a stir. Akamaru pounced with a woof sound, biting into the hem of Kiyoshi's pants without letting go. Qinglong lifted his foot and gently removed it, handing it over to the gnashing teeth of Inazuka. I really envy Qinglong. You don't have to go to school every day, you can play everywhere and go hunting. Naruto envies him immensely. What Naruto said, how many children's dreams are of attending ninja school? Qinglong shook his head. Naruto squinted and muttered, that's not it. It's so good not to have to go to school, so much freedom, but it's also good to be at school, just not lonely. No, Qinglong, and these are the friends I would like to introduce to you to meet me. Naralumaru reached out his hand. Hello, Qinglong, let me introduce you to you. Naruto jumped out and said, me, I'll come first. Lumaru pushed him aside. Naruto, don't make any noise. My name is Kyureo Dingsai, and I like to eat potato chips and barbecue. Kyureo Dingsai introduced himself while eating potato chips. Inazukaya snorted arrogantly and coldly, my name is Inazukaya. You know, one day I will defeat you. Naralumaru continued, my name is Naralumaru, I like. Ah. It's really troublesome to introduce myself or something. My name is Kiyoshi Tenazawa and I love food. The characteristic is that I can eat it well, hee. Qinglong rubbed his head and said with a smile. Ding Ci listened excitedly and said, Qinglong said well. I also love food, not because I love it. He handed over the potato chips and said, here, please have potato chips. Thank you. Qinglong took a piece of potato chips, from the Autumn Taoist school. The taste is authentic. You're here just in time. Today, I'll treat everyone to barbecue. The fire on the riverbank had already started, and Qinglong placed the processed pork on top of the fire. He slammed his head hard. Oh. I forgot that all the members of the Autumn Taoist school are culinary experts. Ding Ci, I'll leave this grilled meat to you. Ding Ci grabbed his sleeve and said, don't worry, let me handle the task of grilling the meat. In no time, the fragrance of meat permeated the riverbank. Huiying Office Building, 3rd Generation Huiying holds the recommendation letter submitted by Kai. A detailed information card about Tenazawa Kiyoshi, with multi-angle photos of Kiyoshi on top, hexagonal data chart below, and a detailed introduction by Kai to Kiyoshi at the bottom. Sandai Huiying was extremely surprised to see Qinglong's information. A child without a chakra should have such strong physical strength. Tuanzang sat expressionlessly on the side and said, Ape Fei, leave this child to me. It's just a child without a chakra. 3rd Generation Hokage shook his head and said, no, this is the child that Meki is following. Tuanzang didn't say anything. In his eyes, he was just a child without a chakra. He wanted to use it to study, but if he didn't get it, it would be fine. In this way, Qinglong, who grazes sheep every day, is about to receive the admission notice from ninja school. For going to school, Qinglong is very unwilling, and the ninja school is also very noisy about the class he attends. The senior teacher said, no, Qinglong has not received ninja school education. He should start studying from the lower grades. The lower grade teacher stopped working and said, Qinglong is already 9 years old. The lower grade students are younger than him, so they should go straight to the higher grade. As the principal, the 3 generations of Hokage have all listened with great enthusiasm. Irika looked at the teachers who were unwilling to accept it, and pondered for a moment, since everyone is unwilling to accept it, let him come to my class. He doesn't want this child named Qinglong to miss the opportunity to go to school. Since no one wants it, he can come to his class. The 3rd Generation Hokage knocked on their pipe and made the final decision. Then let the little devils from the Tenazawa family go to the lower level class first, learn the will of fire first, and then upgrade to your higher level class in Irika. For the fire will of the next generation of children, the 3rd Generation Hokage has put in a lot of effort. If a child does not have the will to fire, he is willing not to cultivate it. Qinglong by the river didn't know he had already been arranged. At this point, the 5 people were already fully fed and lying on the grass. The Chiudao tribe's barbecue skills were really good, and the grilled meat was incredibly delicious. The 5 little ghosts had eaten enough, and most of the meat fell into the stomachs of Qinglong and Dingxi. What a pleasant picnic. Dingxi patted his fat belly. Qinglong, you are the first person I know who can eat even more than me. You are truly a foodie. Qinglong also praised, Ding Sijuan is truly a young man of the Autumn Dao family. His culinary skills are truly outstanding, and the grilled meat he makes is so delicious. This is the most enjoyable experience I have ever had. Qinglong praised it, please have some potato chips. Ding Xi took out a potato chip from the bag, Naruto, Lumuru, and looked at Qinglong and Dingxi speechlessly. The 2 of them could really eat, and any one of them ate more than the 3 of them. When Qinglong returned home, he received the admission notice from the ninja school. Tisk, surprisingly, I was asked to attend ninja school. Chapter 7. A Fearless Campus. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Class 2, Grade 1, Ninja School. The class was neatly filled with a room full of little radish heads. Qinglong touched his head and reluctantly followed the moonlight and wind into the classroom. Classmates, this is our new student. Welcome everyone. The teacher of Moonlight Breeze applauded first, and the students below also clapped their small palms sparsely. The voice of Milk and Milk discussions also echoed one after another. Is this our new student? I'm afraid I didn't go to the wrong classroom. Is there such a small first grade student? He's only in first grade at such an old age, he must be very talented. Hee 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 hee. The moonlight gust pressed down with both hands, stopping the students from discussing. Qinglong, let me introduce myself first. After a moment of self-introduction, Qinglong consciously walked to the last row of corners in the classroom and sat down at a table. Moonlight and strong winds began his lecture, and Qinglong was still curious about the content of the ninja school lecture. After listening to the teacher on stage talk about the will of fire, he felt bored and wanted to lie down and sleep. The sunlight outside the window is quite good, shining brightly on the playground, with bright and scattered shadows under the shade of trees. Above is the content of the lesson on Will of Fire. Class is over. I don't know when teacher Guangfeng left, but Qinglong is already bored and lying on the table, almost ready to fall asleep. Are you the new student? A milky voice sounded, and a cute white figure appeared in front of Qinglong's table, followed by several older children. I'm telling you, I'm the leader of this class. Little brat. Go away. Qinglong looked at this cute little pudding speechlessly, disturbing others to sleep in the classroom. She didn't know it was very unethical. How old is it? Learn from others and become the leader. The petty person gritted their teeth in anger. Age is not the standard of strength. If I attend first grade at the age of 4 at Hinata Fireworks, I will definitely become a genius girl of the Hinata clan. You're only in first grade when you're 9 years old, shy. Hinata Fireworks leaned forward with one hand on their hips, making cute faces and scolding Qinglong. Qinglong remained silent and reached out his finger to flick the little girl's forehead. You're amazing. The unique skill of playing with a flick finger made the little girl cover her head and shout loudly. I want to challenge you. The little girl stared with a pair of white eyes and said seriously. Just thinking about how to tease the little girl, the bell for class had already sounded. This is a practical training class for short-legged elementary school students in a row on the playground. Some hold a children's version of a small painless sword and practice throwing at a target more than 10 meters away. Some practice physical combat in pairs. I want to challenge you. Hinata Fireworks once again turned to Qinglong. Okay. Qinglong did not refuse, and the battle between the two was also part of the practical lesson. Anyway, it was boring, so he happily agreed. On the playground, the 2 of them stood on one side, and Xiao Huahua earnestly put on a soft fist start. Despite her young age, she has always been strong-willed. Since childhood, when she saw the battle between Hinata and Ningxi, she aspired to learn ninjutsu and become a powerful ninja. Moreover, she is indeed a young genius. Even at a young age, Hinata Ro Quan has learned it with great skill. Otherwise, she would not have enrolled early at the age of 4 and could have become the class leader. Qinglong also made a serious gesture and hooked his hand. So, come on. Xiao Huahua let out a small snort and said, I specialize in using the gentle fist technique of the Hinata clan to combat physical activity. Be careful. White-eyed. With a milky taste, Xiao Huahua opened her eyes and attacked with her short legs. Qinglong suddenly felt cramped, stretched his arm, and with lightning speed, his palms suddenly pressed against Xiaohuahuo's forehead. Pop. At this moment, even her white eyes appeared a bit stunned, and her short hand was still some distance away from Qinglong before she could hit it. Ah! Ah! Xiaohuahuo waved his fists recklessly, but he couldn't hit Qinglong. This doesn't work at all, she quickly jumped away. Looking back on the scene just now, the little girl had a fever on her face and her cheeks turned red. What kind of ghost was this who was waving her fist randomly? Is my Hinata fireworks so childish? At this moment, a deep solemnity appeared on the young girl's innocent face, and Qinglong was an opponent that needed her serious attention. A faint smile appeared on Qinglong's face, waiting for the opponent to attack again. Hey! Xiaohuahuo kept moving and changing positions, attacking again in a snake-like manner. Pop! A warm palm once again covered her forehead, and Xiaohuahuo's white eyes froze before a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. My Hinata fireworks never fall twice in the same pit. Soft fist. A delicate sound of milk. Xiaohuahuo's soft fist hit Qinglong's arm, and the blue chakra was released. Hee hee. Hee hee. It seems that I have seen the miserable situation of the arrogant guy on the other side's arm being hit. A smile appeared on the corner of Xiaohuahua's mouth, and she swung her hands even harder, feeling even more proud in her heart. However, she saw that the other person was not affected by her attack, and her palm slightly retracted and her middle finger bent. Pop! A pinky hit the forehead of Xiaohuahuo, and the proud little girl fell to the ground with both hands covering her forehead. Tears of pain welled up, and her white eyes showed her grievances. Hee hee. You lost. Xiaohuahua covered her forehead and doubted life, even doubting the ninjutsu of the Hinata clan. How could it be? My gentle fist from the Hinata clan. She looked up and asked, as if looking for an answer. You hit the soft fist of my Hinata clan, how could you not be hurt? Your soft fist is too weak. After thinking for a moment, Qinglong felt that spreading this sentence would offend the Hinata clan. He continued, it's not that Rochiran is weak, it's just that you're too weak. Losing so miserably and being criticized for being too weak, she must be a bit autistic. Xiaohuahuo looked at Qinglong leisurely, feeling very unwilling. He gave up and said, from now on, you will be the leader of the class. Qinglong waved his hand. Don't. You are the leader in the class. The class leader of a group of little brats, who loves to be who they are. Coincidentally, teacher Guangfeng came over with a batch of painless throwing tools, ready to teach the training of painless throwing. Xiaohuahuo angrily covered his forehead and left, walking to the Kuwu practice area to throw Kuwu. A few consecutive shots of Kumo hit the target completely, and most of them hit the center of the target, with only 1 or 2 Kumo rubbing against the edge of the target and flying out. The achievement of fireworks immediately attracted a burst of cheers, and envy from the surrounding students. You should know that this is the first-grade student. Some children have just been exposed to suffering, and most children cannot even control the direction of the suffering they throw out. The suffering they throw out cannot even touch the edge of the target. Xiaohuahuo's achievement is enough to make him proud. The little girl suddenly felt relieved of her headache and regained her confidence. She looked proudly at Qinglong before noticing that the boy was dressed in simple clothes and didn't bring any practice ninja tools such as Kuwu. He must be a guy who can't throw ninja tools. Other classmates also saw the gaze of Xiaohuo and coaxed Qinglong to show their helplessness in throwing. Watching Xiaohuo's eyes turn from smug to provocative, Qinglong reluctantly took a painless wave and fired it out. Shoo! Bang bang! I saw Kuwu fly out and instantly broke through the target. With the target flying, the remaining force continued to shoot towards the school wall. With a loud bang, Kuwu steadily inserted himself into the wall, creating a spider web crack on the wall. The students on the practice field were stunned like chickens. Everyone stared blankly at this scene, horrified. After Xiaohuo was surprised, his big eyes lit up and he looked at Qinglong with admiration. The distant teacher also heard the commotion and hurried over, shouting loudly, asking what exactly happened. They breathed a sigh of relief when they heard that there was no attack, and then they saw the large walls that had been painstakingly cracked, all with ghostly expressions on their faces. At this moment, the third-generation Hokage was playing with his crystal ball, and the dry and thin palms protecting the crystal ball were trembling with excitement. His face gradually turned red, as if nosebleeds were about to spurt out. Da-da-da. The knocking on the door sounded, and the third-generation Hokage old man was like a student reading a novel in class. He quickly put away the crystal ball and immediately put on a serious expression. Someone brought a stack of documents, and the third-generation Hokage sighed. They solemnly placed the crystal ball and prepared to work hard before looking back. The days of Hokage were so simple and unadorned. Is it about Kiyoshi Tenazawa? Sandai Huiying picked up his pipe, slowly opened the file, and then his eyes widened, flashing with a flash of light. Is Tenazawa Kiyoshi a rare genius in Kiba's century? The destructive power scared the child, and the first-grade teacher hopes to transfer him to the senior class as soon as possible. Looking at a photo of Kuwu inserted into the wall, Sandai Huiying was also startled by Qinglong's destructive power, and then he exhaled a mouthful of smoke to think. Having such destructive power in a young grade, it's appropriate to transfer to a higher grade class, but it is such a genius that it is even more necessary to implement the will of fire. Chapter 8. Root Robbery Incident. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qinglong showed his face on the playground, and all the younger students now know him. Wherever he goes, he is always a prominent figure. Known as the first genius of ordinary students. At first, many lower grade students expressed dissatisfaction, but later they were all beaten down. Gangshou, who had suffered a disastrous defeat in gambling in other countries, received a message from Konoha Naruto as soon as he left the casino. The old man's letter, Are you trying to persuade me to go back to my again? Gangshou opened the letter to read. Is Tenazawa Kiyoshi. With powerful monster power, fun. However, the matter of my has nothing to do with me anymore. She threw the letter away before she could express her melancholy. Just heard a shout, and the debt collector came. There she is. Hurry up and repay the money. Silence panicked and ran away, pulling Gangshou. The two of them ran quickly and disappeared into the alley in the blink of an eye. It's okay. The debt collector shouted, we'll stay here. As long as she hasn't left this city, she'll come here sooner or later to gamble. She can run away, the monk can't run away from the temple. Kiba, Ninja School. The teacher has given Qinglong a crazy fire will education, giving him extra classes every day. Qinglong never expected that he would have to take extra classes even after crossing the time. Every day, he had a desire to be immortal, especially the content of fire will in extra classes, which was really boring. Looking at the sky, it was already late, and the tutoring teacher ended the day's tutoring with great satisfaction. The school was already deserted, and the students had already returned home after school. Only a small fireworks were waiting for Qinglong. Her eyes were shining as she looked at Qinglong with admiration, almost becoming Qinglong's little follower. In her heart, the most powerful sisters, Hinata and cousin Ningxi, were not as powerful as Qinglong. She wants to learn from Qinglong and become an excellent ninja. The two of them left the campus together and only separated at the next intersection, returning to their respective homes. Walking to a remote corner, several figures suddenly flashed out, all wearing animal masks, and it was unclear whether they were members of the Dark or the Roots. Tenazawa Kiyoshi, Lord Tanzo wants to see you. One person spoke, with a tone that could not be refused. Is it the person at the Root? Qinglong glanced at him and said, "Sorry, I don't know you guys and can't go with you." Hee hee. Little ghost, Lord Tuanzang wants to see you, so you can't help but go or not. A member at the Root rubbed their fists and bullied their body. For disobedient children, it is best to directly confront them and educate them to be obedient. Ha! Those who hide their heads and show their tails. After all, I underestimated myself. Watching the approaching members at the base, Qinglong lowered his waist and punched, throwing out a punch. The Root member only lifted one arm to block it, while the other hand continued to reach out and grab Qinglong. But then, boom! He felt as if he had been hit by a tailed beast, and in an instant, he could clearly feel the sound of a broken bone in his blocked arm. The whole person was knocked flying, directly crashing into the wall of the alley and crashing into the house. While the remaining ninjas were still in shock, Qinglong had already appeared at the entrance of the alley, smiling and waving his hand at several Roots. How can it be repaired? A few members of the Root team secretly resented that the noise in this place had already attracted people, and they didn't dare to catch up for fear of attracting attention. They were ninjas walking in the darkness. I had to curse in hatred and quickly leave the member who was almost unconscious after vomiting blood from the beating. Huiying office, Tuanzang strode in with a cane. Yuan Fei, I'll take this Tenzawa Kiyoshi. Give him to the Root, I can cultivate him into a sharp blade in the darkness of the leaves. Taking a deep breath of smoke, the third-generation Hokage became angry while listening to Tuanzang's words. Why do all the excellent seedlings of my wood leaves have to enter your roots? Is the wooden leaf yours or mine? Is I Hokage or are you Hokage? Excellent seedlings have all entered your roots, what else can I get? Tuanzang. Qinglong is also a hardworking child in his studies, and his will to learn fire is significantly improving. Even if he doesn't enter the roots, he will become a ninja willing to burn for the leaves of wood. Tuanzang leaned heavily on the ground with his cane, his voice tinged with anger. If you don't give me the nine-tailed pillar power or an ordinary little ghost, what do you mean? You should know that the root hidden in the leaves is the cornerstone of walking in the darkness to protect them. It's just a little ghost without a chakra, give it to me. 3 generations of Hokage have also become angry. Over the years, how many excellent children have you dug up in my? I am too embarrassed to expose you. If it weren't for my Yuan Fury chopping and wiping your butt, what you did in Tuanzang would have exploded long ago. No way. I plan to recommend this child to Gangshou for teaching. With the same level of supernatural power, Gangshou will definitely be able to teach him well. Touch. Tuanzang is really angry. Sanren has been running away for so long, but Yuan Phrygian still thinks of his disciple and wants to call back Gangshou, but he doesn't want to pass on the position of Huiying to me. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I'll take Kiyoshi Tenazawa. Tuanzang turned around and left as soon as he spoke. He had already understood Yuan Fei's mentality of being indecisive and hypocritical. The White Fang incident is like this, and the Uchiha extermination incident is also like this. As long as the matter is completed, he cannot oppose it when the raw rice is cooked and cooked. Thinking so, Tuanzang felt a chill in his heart. Ri Zhan, you only know the piece on the surface of Mu Yi. Do you know how much effort and sacrifice I have made secretly for Mu Yi? Tuanzang returned to Genji and waited for Tenazawa Kiyoshi to be captured, but he waited until the Genji team he sent out was injured and returned. Lord Tuanzang, our mission has failed. One of Tuanzang's exposed eyes suddenly burst into a cold chill, and his expressionless face made a cold sound. You told me the mission failed. Master Tuanzang, the member of the Root clan, knelt on one knee, trembling with fear. Kiyotaka Tenazawa is not a simple little ghost. He was more powerful than we had anticipated. A group of people can't even catch a little ghost, a group of trash. Tuanzang was furious and didn't listen to their sophistry at all. You all go and collect the punishment for me. Hi. Immediately, he called another team led by Shangren. Here's a task for you. Give me the secret of that little devil, Kiyoshi Tenazawa, to the Root. Tuanzang regained his composure and anger, with a chill in his voice. Hi. The basic team is under command. However, the next day, news of a ghost-masked man snatching a child almost spread throughout Kiba. The breakfast restaurant and the common people on the street are all discussing this matter. Especially for those adults who send their children to school, they closely monitor their own children while discussing this frightening news. How could there be a case of robbing children in Tangtang Nguyen village? Some people can't believe it. Yeah. With so many ninjas guarding us, it's just a rumor, right? Are foreign spies so arrogant? Don't believe it. In the past 2 years, the daughters of the leaders of the Hinata clan were almost kidnapped. Yeah. I heard that the Hinata Hyuga family's Hinata Hyuga division died for this. TSK. Even the children of the prominent Hinata clan, who were guarding the heavily guarded territory, and the children of the clan leader, were almost abducted, let alone our civilian children. Yes. Adults hold their children tightly as they speak, sighing with a hint of worry in their hearts. Hey. Since the Uchiha clan was exterminated, has our security in Mai become so poor? If only those people from Yuzhibo were still there. Someone sighed and started reciting the good news of Uchiha. Those arrogant and annoying guys have also made a lot of contributions and sacrifices to the village. They are so proud that they would rather go to war than surrender. With them, foreign spies in Mai dare not be so arrogant. Who said it's not? Unfortunately. Hey. Damn Uchiha. Itachi. Chapter 9. Village Vibration. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the hopeful anticipation of the Root base, the ninja team successfully brought back Kiyotaka Tenazawa, but received news that the entire village of Kiba was discussing the ghost masked man robbery incident. Some ninjas who know the secrets of Konoha are already inquiring whether the Root ninja is once again taking action against the children in the village and plundering them. Even the ninjas in the dark are questioning. If it's not the ninjas at the Root who take action, they will have to report the third Hokage to conduct a spy investigation throughout the village. Early in the morning, Tuanzang was like taking a bite of siang, feeling extremely uncomfortable. Even the Shangren team he sent came back to ask him if the mission needed to continue. The upper ninja team knelt down on one knee, waiting for instructions. Now, Kiba is in a state of panic, and the difficulty of capturing people has increased significantly. Tuanzang gritted his teeth and still needs a fart. Even 3 generations of Hokage have sent people to inquire about this matter, and many people in Kiba are watching. How can we proceed with the mission? Task temporarily cancelled. He waved his hand expressionlessly to drive away the ninja team. Qinglong had breakfast and happily walked towards the school. Passing by the Sansei Wanzi shop, he bought a few more buns of Wanzi. He was idle all morning, and whenever he saw someone, he would tell them about being attacked and abducted by ninjas with ghost masks. He would tell the bun owner about eating steamed buns and the owner of 3 colored buns. The adults who take their children to school also tell these adults and children, and the little women who hold babies and feed them also tell them. The adults with the children were so scared that they tightly held their hands, while the nursing women were so scared that they quickly ran into the house holding the children. Even the families without children were gossiping along. When they arrived at school, almost all the children were talking about the foreign spies who abducted them. They had an excited and frightened expression on their faces, and at the same time, they had agreed to go home together after school. Oh ha-yo. Qinglong Jun, I heard you were attacked last night. Are you okay? At the school gate, she encountered a small fireworks and saw Qinglong greeting and inquiring with concern. It's okay. Last night when I came home from school, I met some ninjas wearing ghost masks who wanted to take me away. I was scared to death, but fortunately, my lucky person has a natural appearance. That's too scary. Fortunately, you're okay. Yeah, fireworks sauce looks so cute, you also need to pay attention to safety. Xiaohuo may have been praised for her cuteness for the first time, and her face suddenly turned red. Please rest assured, Qinglong. After my father learned about your incident, he arranged for more protective personnel for me. Qinglong also sensed several hidden ninjas from the Hinata clan nearby, who had arranged twice as many guards for Little Spark as before. That's good, then the fireworks sauce will be safe for school. Qinglong Jun, come with me after school. It's safer for you to come with us. Thank you for the fireworks sauce. Of course, Qinglong agreed. If the Hinata clan were together, he wouldn't believe that Tuanzang would dare to take action. Upon entering school, Qinglong separated from Xiaohuo and turned to report to the school teacher about the ghost-faced ninja's captivity. Not only in terms of schools, but also in terms of the Kiba Village Security Department, Kiba Guard Army, and Kiba Hokage building anyway, he went to every place he could go and reflected on it. Even the gatekeeper guarding the school gate ran over to remind him to be careful of any unfamiliar ninjas that might appear in the village. Not long after, the teachers at ninja school took action and gave a grand safety education class to the entire school. Even the school walls were adorned with safety slogans warning spies. The guard army and the security department have also strengthened their patrols, and even the third-generation Hokage has been alarmed. They have sent the dark ninjas to ask Tuanzang to come and explain. At this moment, Tuanzang realized that he had been provoked into a mess, and the whole village was discussing this matter. His hand, leaning on his cane, trembled with anger, and his cane was almost crushed by him. I've lived such a long life, I've never seen a child with such a broken mouth before. Squeak. The door opened and a root member walked in. Master Tuanzang, please come over, third-generation Hokage. Huiying building, 3 generations of Huiying took a picture of the tabletop and looked angrily at Tuanzang. Tuanzang, look at what you've done. Tuanzang had an unsightly zombie face with no expression on it, but he no longer had the aura of facing 3 generations of Hokage. He knew he was guilty and just wanted to snatch the children from the village, which was widely publicized throughout the village. 3 generations of Hokage were extremely angry, and Tuanzang always acted on his own without his consent. This was true for the White Fang incident and the Uchiha incident, as is the case with today's Sawa Kiyoshi incident. You should know that the peace and stability of Mai are his top priority, and he does not allow anyone to disrupt the peace of the village. The third-generation Hokage cursed at Tuanzang, and gradually Tuanzang's anger also rose. The two argued for a while, and finally reached a consensus before giving up. I'll handle it for you on Tenazawa Kiyoshi's side. Don't be fooled by him either. Pay attention to the impact on the village. Sandai Huiying waved his hand and called out the dark ninja after Tuanzang left. Go to a ninja school and ask Kiyotaka Tenazawa to come over. Hi. The dark ninja responded and disappeared in a flash. Qinglong, who was in class, suddenly received a notification from the dark ninja to go to Hokage. Looking at the high shadow rock, Qinglong walked to the Huiying building and entered the Huiying office. Ah! Qinglong. Sandai Huiying put down her work and spoke kindly with a warm and gentle expression. Hello, Lord Huiying. Qinglong bowed, looking like a well-behaved baby. Sandai Huiying nodded in satisfaction. Qinglong. Is yesterday's attack okay? It's okay. I'm fine, Lord Huiying. That's good. Sandai Huiying nodded and said, this is our negligence in allowing other spies from Ninamura to infiltrate our wooden leaves. We have determined that the attack on you last night was carried out by a foreign ninja village. They impersonated the root ninjas and attacked you to stir up internal conflicts within the village of Kiba. Can you understand what I'm saying? Lord Huiying, I understand. Sandai Huiying nodded and said seriously. We cannot let them succeed. We have disrupted the peace of Kiba, and Kiba's peace is crucial. I hope you can explain clearly to everyone that the attack was not done at the root. 3 generations of Hokage kindly stated their purpose. Both the roots and the shadows are nameless beings who silently support peace while walking in the darkness. They are excellent ninjas, excellent inheritors of the will of fire. Good guy. Has this already started brainwashing me? Qinglong looked serious, but in fact, he had already started buying leather in his heart. Looking at Qinglong's humble and educated demeanor, Sandai Huiying nodded with satisfaction. Qinglong. What is your dream of growing up? Before Qinglong could answer, he continued. Would you also be willing to become an excellent ninja who silently supports peace while walking in the darkness? Ah! Qinglong was stunned, and the 3rd generation Hokage thought he was thrilled and shocked. I am willing. Lord Hokage. Qinglong spoke against his heart without any hesitation. Okay. 3 generations of Hokage have already laughed like a chrysanthemum. Qinglong is also an excellent inheritor of the will of fire. So Qinglong, let's go back first. I still have some things to do. Qinglong walked out of the Huiying office with an excited expression, as if his face was flushed with excitement after being praised. The staff of Huiying Building have long been accustomed to it and believe that this is another excellent successor to the will of fire. Only Qinglong had already millions of grass mud horses galloping wildly in his heart. Chapter 10. Gangshou returns to the village. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Although the 3rd generation Hokage intends to suppress the popularity, the root abduction incident has developed uncontrollably. At first, a group of people discussed Princess Hinata, who was almost abducted, and then talked about the extermination of the Uchiha clan. A clever person noticed that someone was secretly targeting Kiba. Then a large group of villagers who had lost their children walked to the Huiying Building and demanded that Huiying investigate the disappearance of their children. They gathered in the Huiying Building and didn't talk to each other, but upon communication, they were shocked to find that their missing children were all talented children with high expectations, and most of them were descendants of the Thousand-Handed clan. This is serious. People suddenly woke up, no wonder the Thousand-Handed clan has not seen any more geniuses for so many years. It turns out that the descendants of the Thousand-Handed clan, who have become common people, have been strangled unconsciously. They are angry. Someone is going to use a household extermination tactic against them. At this moment, another piece of information flowed out. It turned out that the Uchiha clan, who had been circulating for thousands of years, had immortal eyes, while the Qianshou clan had ancient immortal bodies. They peeped at the abilities of the Thousand Hands and abducted all the excellent children of the Thousand Hands clan. They coveted the abilities of Uchiha and collected the immortal eyes of the Uchiha clan, so they exterminated the Uchiha clan. Once upon a time, the 1st and 2nd generations of Hokage, Kiba, possessed a massive amount of chakras. The 1st generation of Hokage could easily capture the terrifying 9 tails and seal them into the belly of his wife, Mizumo. What is left of the current Thousand-Handed clan? 2 or 3 three-legged cats. The Uchiha clan is even more miserable, with only Sasuke left to be slaughtered. This is a shocking secret. Some people peep at the immortal eyes of Uchiha, and now they are also peeping at the immortal bodies of Qianshou descendants. Think carefully and be extremely afraid. Suddenly, the populous villagers of the Thousand-Handed Clan became angry and demanded a thorough investigation of the truth by seeking explanations from Huiying. They have become democratized and do not have a high political status in Kiba, so they urgently contacted Tsunade at the same time. The other families couldn't sit still either, first Gangshou, Yuzhibo, and then the princess of the Hinata clan. Who's the next one? At this moment, the entire Wooden Leaf became even more anxious. Public opinion can no longer hold back, just like the white teeth of the Wooden Leaves back then. Even more shocking than the white tooth incident back then. When Qinglong returned to the classroom, he found that the defense force of Hinata fireworks had once again escalated. If they kidnap a young field once, they will lose a day difference. If there is another kidnapping incident, they cannot afford it. The Hinata clan is now under martial law, and several other families have also opened family meetings. As for the third generation Hokage, the major families have expressed their distrust of Hokage. Gangshou, who was far away in another country, finally received the news. Since the sacrifice of his younger brother, his lover has also died in battle, and Gangshou cannot withstand the blow and is heartbroken. In addition to his dissatisfaction with the high-level management of Kiba, Gungate has moved away from the center of the village and is addicted to gambling to make a living. But she didn't really let go of the village, just by the name Gangshou Ji, she is still the princess of Mai. The populous Thousand-Handed Clan still puts her in a relatively high position, and how could she really ignore the Mai village that her grandfather personally created? As soon as she received the news, she rushed back to Kiba in indignation. On the day she returned, she kicked open the door of the Hokage office. "Old man. You have to give me an account of what happened to the genius child who disappeared from the descendants of the Thousand-Handed Clan." Sandai Huiying has been busy these days, and when she saw Gangshou's questioning, her head suddenly grew even bigger. Watching the third-generation Hokage speechless, Gangshou walked up and slapped the Hokage desktop. Touch. The fierce palm wind blew away all the files on the desktop, and Huiying's office desk let out a scream that almost cracked. Gangshou growled softly, "My grandfather handed over the position of Huiying to you. Is that how you manage Mu Yi?" "Listen to me, Gangshou," explained Sandai Huiying. "I will definitely investigate this matter thoroughly and give you a satisfactory answer." Gungata angrily shouted, "The answer. I need the answer now. Gangshou, you're going too far." With a low chuckle, it turned out that Xiaochun, who was sitting on the other side, had spoken. "How could Ri Zhan also be the Hokage of Mu Yi, or your teacher? How could you speak to Hokage in such a tone?" Mito Menyen on the side also interjected, "Monkey Fly, you should take care of your disciples." Gangshou gave them a cold glance. He usually cared about them, but now that such a big thing has happened, Gangshou doesn't have to give them face anymore. "Humph. What happened to the village? How did your fire shadow advisor act?" Gangshou questioned their abilities, but as high-ranking officials in Mai, such a big thing happened. Gangshou. Xiaochun's anger also rose as she turned to sleep. "You have also participated in the Ninja World War. How come you are so naive? How many geniuses fell on the battlefield during the Ninja World War? Even now, there has been constant struggle between different ninja villages, and geniuses still fall again. Tragedies still happen from time to time, and we have been maintaining the peace of Kiba." Sandai Huiying sighed. "Gangshou, we are also old. When we are powerful and sometimes we don't catch up, I hope you can come back and manage the leaves." "Stop." Gangshou reached out to stop the narration of the third-generation Hokage, and she frowned. "You don't need to tell me this kind of thing, you can solve it yourself. I only need an explanation, the explanation for the missing child in Kiba." Gangshou. Sandai Huiying sighed and said, "I will give you an explanation." Gangshou's cold and stern face finally calmed down, and she extended, "Give me the information about the child who was attacked by the root, I'll go and understand the situation." San Dai Huiying handed over the information and emphasized with a guilty heart, it was attacked by a spy from another village. Gangshou snorted without denying it, took the information and looked at the sunny and energetic child in the photo. Tenazawa Kiyotaka, it turns out to be this child. She threw the information to the third-generation Hokage, turned around, and walked out of the door. Xiaochun, who had been sleeping, squinted her eyes as she watched Gangshou leave, feeling very dissatisfied. It's time for you to discipline your disciple. As the sun sets, when the ninja school bell rings, the children quickly walk out of the school gate like swimming fish. As soon as Qinglong left the school gate, she saw Gungata and the silent voice beside her. Hey! You're that big sister. Gangshou also paid attention to Qinglong from the moment he appeared, and she smiled. Little brother, I didn't expect you to remember me. Of course I remember. Big sister is so beautiful, her temperament is so great, so unique, she can be recognized from a distance at a glance. Qinglong chuckled, actually wanting to say that Gangshou's figure was unique and he recognized it at a glance. Little brother has a good eye. Gangshou praised and immediately offered an invitation. Can you take a walk with your sister? Sister, treat you to barbecue. Ha! Woman, I call you sister. You really treat me like a little brother, but please have some barbecue. You can call me sister a few more times. Qinglong is not averse to Gangshou's delicate attire. Gangshou's appearance is maintained through sealing techniques, not makeup effects. Her physical appearance is young, really young. Who would refuse to call out, sister, to a 1,000-year-old beautiful baby girl? Of course you can. Qinglong did not refuse, and the three of them walked together on the path of Mai. Can you tell my sister about the day you were attacked? Qinglong recounted the fact that he was attacked by the root ninja in its entirety. As Gangshou listened, his eyebrows furrowed deeper and deeper. She sighed and breathed a sigh of relief in her heart, as she had already guessed. It's just that the ninjas want to expand their membership. Then she changed the topic. I heard you have great power. I'm just a little stronger. Qinglong smiled humbly and said. Is that right? Gangshou raised his eyebrows slightly and said, why don't we have a fight and see how powerful you are? Qinglong stopped and looked at her, do you want to fight me? Gangshou smiled and said, don't worry, I will suppress my strength and not bully your child. Qinglong hugged his chest and pinched his chin with one hand. I'm not afraid you're bullying me, I just feel that women's bodies are not suitable for fighting. Women are all fat, and having so much flesh in the front and back is too cumbersome. As he spoke, he pointed to Gangshou's chest and said, especially with a burden as big sister's chest, it particularly affects combat output.